Hey there, welcome back to my channel, Messing with Michelle. So today's video I've been really putting on the back burner, no pun intended, but today's video I'm going to be sharing with you cleaning out my oven. It's been quite some time since I've cleaned out the oven and gave it a really good cleaning. But the only problem is it's in the middle of summer, it's 35 degrees Celsius with the humidity, so I really don't want to have the oven on for a long period of time at a very high temp and also not be able to open the windows because I have the AC on. So to bypass all that self-cleaning cycle, I'm going to actually try using Easy Off's no fume oven cleaner. So I just wanted to see if this actually was able to work on a cold oven, just to spray it on and wipe away the grease and baked on grime. So I'm testing it out in this video to see what it's all about. So if you want to see the transformation, definitely stick around. Here's a shot of what my oven currently looks like. There's a lot of baked on messes, splatter marks, and a lot of burnt on mess inside. So according to Easy Off, I'm able to use this spray. It's the Easy Off Fume Free Max in the oven, and it's supposed to penetrate tough grease and grime, and it's supposed to effectively clean with no fumes as well as no heat, and it doesn't cause any sort of harsh fumes to irritate your nasal passages, and it's also good for cleaning ovens, broilers, barbecue grills, and stainless steel. So we'll put this to the test to see if it's able to live up to the expectations and clean out my oven without using any heat. Easy Off does have a website to give you more information about the product, so I did check out the website just to make sure I was able to use the spray inside my gas oven because I do have gas. I wanted to make sure it was the right fit for me, and it did confirm you can use it in your gas ovens. So I decided to remove the racks inside the oven and just focus on the actual inside interior of my oven to clean today, but you can still use the spray on your oven racks. It's just recommended by Easy Off that if you have any special coating on your racks, just to try a small test area, scrub it just to make sure there's no problems with taking off any of your coating. My racks are just very basic. They're stainless steel, so I'll definitely have to go back later on and try to clean those off. But for now, I'm going to focus on the inside. I'm using a damp microfiber cloth to wipe the bottom of the oven as well as the oven door. This isn't part of the directions on the Easy Off label, but I just felt it was necessary because I noticed there was a bit of ash as well as a few baked on messes that I could easily wipe away using the cloth before I sprayed the Easy Off into the oven. And this way, these are out of the way and I'm not just pushing them around later on when I'm wiping out the oven after spraying with the Easy Off. So now I'm going ahead and I'm going to be placing some dish towels on the bottom tray as well as the floor around the oven. This is the first time that I'm using Easy Off, so I wasn't sure if it was going to drip down, especially off the oven door down into the drawer or even the floor. So just to help protect these areas, I just thought I'd throw down a few dish towels. This wasn't in the instructions to do, but I just thought for peace of mind, I'll just throw these down just in case anything gets on the floor or if anything drips out of the oven while I'm cleaning. The method I'm going to use is this one here. It's hard to see, but it's called the 1 hour 15-minute cleaning directions, and it has to go in a cold oven. And there's also overnight directions and self-cleaning directions. So I wanted to go with the first one to see if it was able to perform well just on a cold oven with just using the spray. So it does recommend that you start from the top of the oven and work your way down. So it's exactly what I'm going to do. So there's a dot here. There's a dot right here, if you can see that, where you're supposed to turn to this dot, and then we're gonna start spraying. In total, there's 3 different directions to clean using the Easy Off. It's the 1 hour 15-minute method, the overnight method, and the self-cleaning oven method, which are basically the same as the hour and 15-minute cleaning cycle I'm using today. But all 3, you do not have to use any heat whatsoever. You're always starting with a cold oven, and you're never turning on the heat during any of the cleaning cycles. So I'm spraying inside the oven, and the oven is cold. There's no heat whatsoever on, and it's recommended to spray 23 to 30 centimeters away from the area, and you don't need to wear any gloves. It's said on the website for Easy Off, so I'm not wearing gloves during the spraying process. But on the back of the label, it does mention that do not spray on pilot light, electrical connections, switches, light bulbs, heating elements, and thermostats. So I was trying to avoid any of these areas that I thought fell into that category. So I sprayed the top of the oven and the sides, and you're gonna see here at the back of the oven, I decided to skip over spraying directly inside the convection fan because I wasn't able to get inside the fan later on to clean out any of the residuals. And inside my oven on the left and right at the bottom, there's the heating elements for the gas. So I decided not to spray directly inside that area as well. So I did check online on Easy Off's website just to confirm that I was able to use the spray on glass, and you definitely can. So I'm just spraying a nice liberal coat of the spray inside the glass. The spray was nice and foamy and it sprayed on really well. It didn't have an overwhelming scent. It just smelled like a regular cleaner, so nothing really pungent that I wasn't able to handle or had to wear a mask. So now that I have everything sprayed off inside the oven, the recommendation on the instruction is to close the door and then to set your timer for an hour and 15 minutes. It's been an hour and 15 minutes since spraying on the Easy Off, and this is what the oven looks like now. And I'm happy to see there's no drip marks, and the spray really stuck to the sides of the oven door as well as the inside of the oven, so there's really not that many drip marks. So the next part of the process is to take a cloth with warm water and start wiping away the residual spray as well as the baked on messes. And I want to start off with the oven glass door, and I could see right away that the surface level dirt and grime was able to get wiped off with ease, but the really bad baked on messes was not budging, so I was a little bit disappointed. But I didn't want to give up just yet, so just using the non-abrasive microfiber cloth really didn't do the trick. So I decided to use a Scrub Wow, which is a non-abrasive scrubbing pad, so I'm able to use it on glass without scratching, and this is actually a really great tool to have when you're doing your dishes as well. So I just thought I'd try to use the Scrub Wow to see if I was able to really scrub off any of the baked on mess. So I'm just going in and just scrubbing my heart out, and I have to say that the spray did help loosen up the baked on mess, but I did have to put a lot of elbow grease, especially on the door, to really scrub off all that baked on mess. So I'm just going back and forth with a microfiber cloth with my scrubber, and then I'm just trying to clean as much of the baked on mess as possible. I even thought I could use a food scraper to scrape off any of the baked on mess, but it just was not budging at a certain point. So I just thought I'd leave it for now, and I'd start going into the inside of the oven with my microfiber cloth. So I'm following the exact same process. I have a warm, damp cloth, so I'm using microfiber, and I'm just wiping out any of the grease and grime as well as the excess spray left inside the oven, and I'm just going to continue this process. When it came to cleaning the inside of the oven on this area, I felt like the spray was really working very well because it was a lot easier to really take off all the grease and grime off the sides and the back of the oven, and I didn't have to use at first the scrubbing pad as frequently as I did on the glass doors. So as I'm cleaning, I'm just going back and forth, rinsing off my cloth and just repeating the steps over and over again inside the oven. And I believe at this point I've been cleaning the oven for about a half an hour, just trying to get as much of the grease and the grime off on all the areas. So you still definitely have to start scrubbing a bit in your oven, but it just helps the spray to really loosen up any of the grease and the grime. I can't imagine just opening up the oven using a microfiber cloth and a scrubbing pad for all this baked on mess to slide off, so it really helps loosen up all that grease and grime inside the oven. So this is round one of inside the oven. I've used my microfiber cloth, I've used a scrubbing pad, and it's definitely not perfect, and there are areas that definitely need to have a bit more scrubbing and a little bit more attention to. So I just wanted to show you where I'm at in the cleaning process. So the oven door, I did get quite a bit of the baked on mess off, but you can see it's still not perfect. And I was really going to throw in the towel and say this is the best it could look, but I wanted to give it another round of the spray, especially on the door. So I'm going to go back and spray the door and just the areas inside the oven that have a bit more baked on mess, and let it sit for another hour and 15 minutes to see if this helps loosen up any of the areas that weren't able to get cleaned during round one. So I'm spraying just areas of the oven that just need a bit more attention. So the front of the door, the glass, as well as the perimeter of the oven where I saw some baked on messes, and I waited another hour and 15 minutes to clean off this area. So I went back in with my microfiber cloth as well as my scrub wow. And to completely be honest with you, if I didn't have my scrub wow that had a bit of abrasiveness, I don't think I would be able to achieve the same results. Just using a soft cloth was not cutting it to get through that baked on mess. And if I used a paper towel, I would feel like the same thing. You wouldn't be able to really scrub out any of the baked on mess. So the scrubber was definitely something I needed for this process. And the spray definitely helped cut through the grease and the grime to break it down, but I did still have to use quite a bit of elbow grease to get into the nitty-gritty of things and really get all that burnt off mess off. So now you'll see here I'm spraying a combination of vinegar and water, and that's leading up to the final steps of the cleaning process. So now that I have everything wiped out, it's just recommended to use vinegar and water just to get any residuals out of the oven that might have been left behind. And it's also recommended just to get any sort of vapors out of the oven, just to run a 300-degree heat cycle inside the oven just to burn off any residuals of the spray. So now that everything is finished, I have my oven cleaned out. Here is just a before of what the oven looked like, just to remind you how greasy and grimy it looked before cleaning with the Easy Off. And here is the after 2 rounds of cleaning the glass door with the Easy Off spray. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. It's not perfect, but is it a huge improvement? Yes, absolutely. Not having to turn on the oven with no heat and to be able to get these results is quite impressive. Now, I did have to put a little bit of time and energy to wipe off the grease and the grime, but the Easy Off made it easier to really scrub off any of the baked on messes. And I'm really happy I didn't have to turn the oven on for 4 hours, heat up the house, and also have those harsh fumes in the house, especially as I mentioned, it's in the summer and I wasn't able to open the windows. So it's nice to be able to avoid all those stinky steps when it comes to self-cleaning. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, make sure to hit that like button on your way out, and I will catch you in my next video when I upload next Sunday. See you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.